Recap. You watch all the fights on the weekend?
Not all of them. I watched the main one. I saw highlights of the rest of them, so I didn't really watch all of them. But
Well, there was 3 cards on.
yeah,
Queensbury's card. Mm-hmm. No, what am I talking about? Boxer's
card. Sorry, yeah. It feels like a Queensbury card.
Yeah.
It feels like that. It was a good event. We were getting cooked for cussing it. But we made the video before.
Yeah, we watched
it. But then I
it.
dropped the video after. So people were like, oh, what? That blew up. So that was mad.
But it was cold, though.
It was a good card.
It was definitely good. Like, we were discrediting Boxer.
Yeah.
Boxer put in a good show. Like
That's what you're though, like, I'm not saying that's luck. That is skill to do that. But these cards are so important because we spoke about building the next generation. And even when I say it's luck, the performances and the competitive nature of the fights.
Facts.
You don't know what's going to happen. We've seen those cards be very stinky before.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So but it was good. Shout out to them.
Definitely.
I mean, shout out to Boxer.
Vidal Riley was on the card. He looked really good.
Yeah.
Like, I think he can actually make it to world level.
I was going to say,
he can actually make it to world level.
He always looks good. It's just the pacing of that step up. That's the question.
The thing is, he's slightly fortunate in, I think. Well, I don't know because
you're going to say the social media connections.
No, I was going to say the fact that the weight class is cruiserweight in it, so it rarely has the glamour. So people don't really stay in cruiser.
Yeah.
So him getting a world champ, like Lawrence Okoli won a world title, William Smith won a world title. So it's not going to be that difficult for him to win a world title at cruiserweight.
I think that's unfair. I think world title. I know what you're saying. World titles are world titles, though. But I get what you're saying. It's not a heavyweight. It's not a light heavyweight.
Yeah.
They happen to be particularly stacked at this particular moment
At
in
this
time.
particular time.
At this particular time.
So
yeah,
he's fortunate. Yeah. Like, whereas
there's no Usyk in there right now.
Yeah, like there's J.R. Pataya.
Yeah.
But from what it seems, like, he's probably have a handful of fights before he moves up.
Yeah. How old is Vidal now?
I think he must be in his late 20s.
That's what I think. I think he's had a bit of a boost because he had the social media connections. He's already is he coaching some of the social media guys?
He was coaching KSI and all that.
Yeah, coaching KSI and all that kind of stuff. So there's good money in that. But for his own career, I think just beginning to step on the gas a little bit and start moving up. That's what we want to see.
So there was
at the moment, Opataya sweeps, cleans him. Yeah,
and Opataya's fighting Bradis on the Fury. And that's going to be a top,
that's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great fight. Yeah.
That's going to be on the Fury undercard. Co-main. People were criticizing Fury's undercard. I didn't think it was that bad.
No.
Then you have we had on that same card Fabio Wardley versus Fraser Clark.
Yeah.
Great fight. I felt that both fighters showed me what I knew they were good at. I knew, obviously, because of the amateur experience, Fraser Clark, he has the pedigree and the technique to just push. Like, you could tell he was way more like fundamentally sound than Fabio. Fabio Clark was way more tenacious. Fabio Wardley. What did I say?
Fabio Clark.
Sorry, Fabio Wardley. Sorry, was more tenacious and he was just overall more aggressive.
Yeah.
And you can tell that even though he got the cut on the nose, he was the one who was looking for the stoppage.
Yeah.
Whereas Fraser Clark was trying to keep it quite clean. But you knew that Fraser Clark's been in there because even when he was getting hurt, he was doing smart things like smothering the work.
I was going to say, I think his survival instincts were really good.
I think both of them were really good. Like, he got dropped, he knew what to do, but then Fabio Wardley got a cut early in the fight and he managed to still, whenever you thought he was out, he managed to fire back. So that just shows the heart and the tenacity of someone like Fabio Wardley. It was a great fight. I want to see it again.
Yeah. I think the scorecard in favour of Clark was a bit wide. I think there was a 115, 112.
Yeah.
I said, there's always, whenever there's a split decision draw, there's always one card, which is just
because he got dropped and he got a point deducted.
Yeah.
So I didn't see how.
I didn't see that, yeah. But apart from that, I think the overall result was fair. And because the overall result was fair, people are going to let that card kind of go.
But for me, I felt I could easily see that again. And the fact that it ended in a draw, it's one of the few times I've watched the fight where I felt, that's justifiable.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
If you edged it to Clark, you edged it to Wardley, I get it. I can see that. So
that's what we call no robbery.
No robbery.
Because everyone likes to say that. What else did we see on the weekend?
We saw... Bro, let's start with it. Rolly, fam.
Oh my... yeah.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, Pitbull Cruz is an animal, innit? He came in there.
We've been knowing that.
But Rolly, every time he gets knocked out, he got turned
Always
into
a highlight. It's always a highlight reel knockout.
And you know what it is? The last time he got knocked out, man was hugging the ropes. This time he got knocked out, he was hugging the ropes again, bro.
Yeah, he's always facing the ropes. Yeah, he gets spun round with the knockout.
Spun round with that knockdown, bro.
Yeah.
And it's because his chin's always high up in the air. Like,
and he's a big talker as well. Do you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of like this generation's Paulie Malignaggi a little bit.
No, but Paulie never got sparks.
I'm talking about the talk. I'm talking about the talk.
Yeah, maybe.
The talk. Do you know what I mean? And then the embarrassment after the talk.
The thing is, I don't even know why Pitbull Cruz was an underdog in that fight. I wish I saw that from before.
Yeah.
Because I would actually put money on Pitbull.
I thought the same thing. I
know Pitbull's smaller and he's coming up from 135 to 140.
Maybe that's why. That's the only reason I could think of as to why. Because when I saw the odds for that fight, I was confused. I'm not going to lie.
But Rolly, he almost got beaten up by some old man, bro.
Yeah.
Literally. So for me, and we know he can get hurt. We know he can get outworked. So I don't see that. But he got beaten up badly.
Rolly's got very good PR. He's got very good PR.
But he's his own PR.
He always seems to... I don't know, man. He always
He'll
seems to be
bounce back
favoured.
from this as well.
Yeah.
He'll bounce back. Like this
Another
is the thing.
flat track bully.
He's a flat track bully, but even more, like, he makes his wins seem so great. That he can always bounce back. Like this guy's got. One thing I give Rolly, bro. This guy's got thick skin, bro.
Yeah. 100%.
He's got thick skin, bro.
Yeah,
like
just a thin jaw.
Trust me. But he got sparked clean out. Like,
what's next for Isaac Cruz then?
Well, they're saying Tank rematch.
Okay, yeah.
Which I can easily see that happening.
I can see that.
This is where Tank is in a stalemate.
Yeah.
Because if Tank fights Isaac Cruz, Cruz just won a £140 world title. He can't say then he can't fight Devin at 140 because his argument has been Devin Haney's 140, Devin Haney's too big. You know what I'm saying? That argument can't be used anymore. Because if you're moving up to 140 to fight Cruz, that means you're able to move up to 140 and fight Devin.
Just like Canelo, Tank is running out of excuses, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? He's running out of paper, parchment.
I don't think Tank is necessarily afraid of losing because I genuinely believe he believes he can beat Devin, but I also feel like he's looking at it as risk versus reward and he knows that it's going to be a tough fight for him.
I understand that, and we say the same thing about Tyson Fury with Usyk, and I get they are different, but they are also very, very similar. Being afraid to put on a bad performance, being afraid to look bad, being afraid to
be in a tough fight.
To be in a tough fight. Those are kind of very similar. They're not the same as being afraid to lose. But in a boxer's career, they function the same way. It has the same outcome. They're almost the same thing. Psychologically, they're not exactly the same thing, but you still move that way.
Of course. But, I mean, Tank versus Isaac Cruz. The thing is why I'm not so keen on that, because the blueprint to beat Cruz is already there. Tank kind of beat him the first time. But
like you said, I'm happy to see this fight. One, from an entertainment perspective, because 2 knockout punches, and 2, it gets us 1 step closer, maybe even 2 steps closer to seeing Tank versus Devin, which is what we really want to see. So I'm not really gassed for this fight for the sake of this fight. I'm gassed for this fight for the sake of what it means for the fight after that.
Of course. I mean, there's some guys at 140 that he can fight. The thing is, one thing that's kind of crazy is Eddie Hearn's kind of monopolized the 140 division. Yeah. He's got obviously Jack Catterall, he's got Devin Haney, he just got Matthias, so he's got Matthias now.
Taylor.
Taylor's just signed with him for his next fight. And he's got some who just fought a couple weeks ago. He just knocked out Zapata, I can't remember his name. Dalton Smith. He just won at world level. He's supposed to be mandatory for one of the belts. So you can't Pitbull Cruz won't work with Devin Haney, won't work with Eddie Hearn because he's with PBC. So after he fights Tank. The only fight that I can see him potentially having is maybe Teofimo Lopez. Yeah. Which I would love to see that fight.
That'd be a good fight.
I'd love to see that fight. I mean,
winnable at 140.
It's winnable.
Winnable for both. I'd still maybe give the edge to Teo, but
me as well.
Winnable for both.
Teofimo's shown on his night that he can put in poor performances. You can't have a bad performance against Pitbull Cruz. If I was choosing, I wouldn't want to see him fight Devin because Devin is just a bit too polished for him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it will almost be slightly like when Devin fought Linares. Like, he just...
Devin would have to have a very off night.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where someone who's going to bring the fight to Pitbull, that will be a better fight.
Yeah,
you know
100%. 100%, yeah.
There was that fight. There was another fight on... Well, the main event for that card. Did you watch Fondora versus Tim Tszyu?
No, I saw the again. I saw the car. I saw all that kind of stuff.
Days, bro.
I heard the fight was crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So Tim Tszyu, is unlucky because he was supposed to be fighting Furman.
Yes.
Furman pulled out with a bicep injury. With Furman's career's done, bro.
Yeah.
He's completely done.
Yeah, we've been knowing that. He was going to fight Clarissa Shields. He'll probably lose to her right now.
He's done. So, late replacement Fondoran, which, if you understand, Fondora is almost a 150, 160. This guy's like 6'5".
Yeah.
To adjust from fighting Furman to fighting Fondora, it's a mad adjustment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not even a replacement.
It's a tough last minute replacement.
It's tough last minute replacement. Yeah. Fondora came for the business, bro.
Yeah.
They both got cut. Fondora got a cut over his lip. Tim Tszyu got a cut over his head,
yeah.
And it was just a bloodbath. To be honest with you, Tim Tszyu, you could just tell that. I don't know. I would love to see the fight again. Fondora is saying he wants to fight Errol Spence, but for me, I would love to see the fight again because I just felt that if Tim Tszyu had a full camp, I felt he would have probably prepared better because he came with a style that was more suited for Fondora than what he normally comes with.
You mean it was more suited for Keith Thurman?
No, but it benefited
Fondora.
Because
got you.
That style that he fought, he tried to run over Fondora. If he fought Tim for Keith Thurman, it would have worked. Thurman ain't 154, and Thurman, bro, this guy's been inactive. One thing he's gonna want is a high tempoed fight.
Yeah.
Fondora wants a high tempoed fight. You know what I'm saying? With that size, with that weight, he's just gonna be used against you. And because Fondora can hit you at every range because of how long his arms are, but how adjusted he is up close. Like every time Tim Tszyu was trying to land ones and twos, Fondora's going 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And when you're trying to leave, he's still ain't able to hit you because his arms are long enough.
Yeah.
So he just overwhelmed you with work rate, which is a brilliant spectacle. I think this weekend of fights has been the best weekend of fights in this year so far.
Would you say Tim Tszyu Fondora's fight of the year? Because I see people saying Clark and Wardley fight of the year contender so far, and I was like, it was a good fight because it was one of them. They both did what we expected them. Not, I don't want to say more than what we expected from them, but what we expected from them, but at a high level. But I wouldn't say that was fight of the year. From the highlights, I would say Fondora.
I would say this year has been quite difficult to judge because a lot of fights this year have been that we've wanted to be like top. They've kind of fallen down. Like fights that we thought were supposed to be 50-50s, they failed to be 50-50s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in that sense, yes, like they were competitive. Both guys could have had a chance. I would say Fabio Wardley versus Clark was better than Tim Tszyu. And
oh, really?
I would, only because I felt like because of the inexperience of both Fabio and Wardley and Clark, they made themselves vulnerable throughout the whole fight. Literally both guys, they didn't, at no stage did I think Fondora was gonna get stopped.
Yeah.
I didn't think Tim Tszyu was gonna get stopped either, but there was times where Tim Tszyu was like he was taking a bit of a pasting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Where that, like Fondora was getting hit, but I don't think it was the same. Like, bro, you thought like there was times I was watching, bro, I think Wardley's gone. I think Clark's gone. You know what I'm saying? There was that, but
maybe from that spectacle then. Maybe not from a technical perspective, but from a drama perspective,
I mean, a lot of fights, especially within the last 6 months, we thought that were going to be competitive, just didn't turn out to be competitive. Yeah. So, like, I mean, we look at Zhang versus Parker. That was a competitive fight. That was a really good fight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, Nick Ball versus Vargas, we watched live. That was a good fight as well. So
yeah, I'm not having that fight of the year, but I know what you're saying.
I mean, you're not having what fight of the year?
Nick Ball
versus Vargas. No, it probably weren't fight of the year, but it was a good fight. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult to judge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Last fight, which wasn't like mainstream fight, but it was Gilberto Ramirez moved up to cruiserweight to fight Glomarian. To be honest with you, I knew Gilberto Ramirez was gonna win, beat him pretty comfortably, won pretty much every round. Why it's a good thing is because now he become the first ever Mexican to win a cruiserweight world title.
Really?
Crazy, innit?
That's mad.
Years and years of Mexican fighters.
Same as Cubans, never had a heavyweight champion.
Yeah, it's crazy, innit? Yeah. Like Andy Ruiz was the first Mexican heavyweight champion of all time. Like, it's crazy. But now where he's in that cruiserweight division, I mean, cruiserweight getting some names, but it's still kind of cold. To be honest with you,
it's a pass through, isn't it? Like you said earlier, do you know what I'm saying? Man, come into that weight class and immediately look for exit strategies. Pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
100%.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I think Gilberto Ramirez will end his career though, because
Yeah.
the fact to think that he was started off at middleweight and he's all the way at cruiserweight, it's kind of mad. Yeah, that was pretty much all the fights on. There's not even no fights for the next couple of weeks. But news. Have you been watching all the like Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney stuff?
Yeah, some of it, man. I mean, I watched the face-to-face or the face-off.
Yeah, the face of that was good. That was actually entertaining.
That was very entertaining. I thought that was entertaining.
They had a docu-series as well where, like, for me, when we got the video out now where we're talking about it being like a bit staged,
Yeah.
I'm less thinking that it's staged. The whole gimmick thing for Ryan
Based off
Garcia.
the docu-series.
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
The docu-series is full of Devin Haney training. Like, if you watch it, bro, it's full of Devin Haney training. Like, he's training in every single, like, pretty much every single one. You see his diet, you see what he's eating, you see everything. You see nothing of Ryan Garcia. Like, you don't see any...
But that doesn't mean it's not happening. That could just be Ryan Garcia not allowing that stuff to go. Because the only reason I think that Ryan Garcia could be doing it would be to go the strategy of preparing in such a way that Devin Haney doesn't know what to prepare for, because they fought 6 times before. They know each other very, very well. And actually, I want to throw this guy off. I still think Devin Haney wins the fight. I still think Devin Haney outboxes him. But he's just, if that strategy he's going with is the trolling strategy, he's going to continue that all the way. That means no training footage, no sparring footage. We don't even want him to know what guys we've got for sparring. We don't want him to know anything that could be around our game plan.
So he's like one of them ones where you think, I'm gonna make him the only training footage or behind the scenes footage he sees is what I put out to the public,
Exactly.
and it's with me acting a fool.
Exactly.
So I see what you're saying.
To throw you off completely.
I hear you, because I watched and I thought, like, there's hardly any, like, bro, there was road work with Devin Haney doing, like, in the flipping
mountains,
in the mountains. You see that?
Yeah.
Like, you see him all, like, everything you see him training, and you're thinking, bro, this guy's. I haven't seen anything of Ryan Garcia, you know what I'm saying? And that's all from the docu-series.
I think it's going to be a real test of Devin Haney's professionalism to not get roped in by this, not get roped in by the trolling, not get onto the Twitter spaces.
You think about it, for someone that young, it's difficult.
I was
not
just
to buy
about to
into
say,
that.
for someone his age to meet, there's all these celebrities. I know Devin Haney's a celebrity in his own right, but not to want to talk to Andrew Tate and all this kind of thing. Forget about all that and just focus solely on the fight. I think a lot of that is a distraction tactic.
What's benefited him, and I don't know how devoted he is as a Muslim, but he does
live kind of a devout life.
Yeah, he says that anyway. So obviously he buys jewelry and shit, but it's Ramadan now, isn't it?
Yeah.
He said, I can't fast because I'm in training camp because this is how I work. Yeah. But everybody around me is fasting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
and you have to remember, fasting is not just food.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's anything impure.
Yeah, of course.
Impure thoughts, sex,
so
all that kind of stuff.
So it must be very easy for him during
he's in a very disciplined environment around him. Yeah,
100. And I know his siblings and his dad, they're all like going through Ramadan properly. Yeah. And I see them in a docu-series. So I'm not saying that's going to make a difference, but it does make it easier. Like if he's out there with Adrian Broner and flipping Tank, it's a different story, innit?
Exactly. Do you know what I'm saying? No, 100%. You know, I still back Devin, but I think that Ryan is going to be... I think
he's trying the thing,
we're going to see a different Ryan. I think it's throw caution to the wind. This is his second time fighting a world-level fighter. He lost the first time. He knows he's statistically likely to lose this time. They were at least competitive back when they were 15, 16, 17. That's why it's 3-3 in the amateurs. But I think he knows that Devin has soared a level or two above him.
There's 2 topics I want to talk to you about before we go. One, Errol Spence supposed to be returning. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Fandara called him out, and he literally, Errol Spence was at the fight. I think his first interview since the fight. So he was at the fight. So he's probably moving up to 154. Apparently, he's not going to be with Derek James anymore. He's been with Derek James his whole career. Him and Charlo's been with Derek James his whole career.
Interesting.
What do you think?
I think it's a terrible decision.
You think it's a terrible decision?
I think fighting Fandora, would he fight Fandora at 154? 160,
yeah, 154.
I think that's a terrible fight.
I think it's a bad first fight back as well.
I think it's a terrible fight for him. like you say, powerful, rangy, active,
tall, strong.
All the physical advantages. Errol has the technical advantages, but of course he's coming off of a really bad loss.
No confidence.
And he's given up all of the physical advantages against the fighter.
And he's moving up a trainer.
And moving up in weight class. And not just giving up a trainer, but going to start training with a trainer who doesn't know him, doesn't know his body. Potentially there's a shout that Derek James has said to him, this isn't the right fight for you. And he said, I'm happy to leave the trainer to take this route because another trainer is going to, and we can get into a whole conversation about the ethics of training people.
Course. But in his mind, it's like, well, you got at 154, he's not going to fight Charlo. He's got the 2 belts, and the other one's Madrimov, who's with Eddie Hearn. That fight ain't going to happen. So the only other world title that's out there.
Why would he not fight Charlo?
Because they're like best friends, bro.
Oh, okay, fine.
Like they both got trained by Derek James since they were kids. You know
that's so whack. That's awful. That is the lack of a champion mentality.
You would fight your best friend.
I'd fight my brother.
So if you were Klitschko, you wouldn't fight.
It depends on how seriously I'm taking the sport. If it depends, like my brother, if my brother was a champion and people were saying to him, and obviously they're not brothers, but just as an example, and people were saying to him, oh, you're only champion because Nick would smash you up, he'd want to fight me. He'd want to prove that that's not the case. And I'd want to prove that that's not the case. I'd fight anybody.
Fair enough. But
that's the sport. You want to be a world champion.
Yeah, 100.
Do you want to be a world champion?
Yeah,
because that means that if anybody that has that thought process to me is never a legitimate world champion. Because there's somebody the point of being a world champion is you can stand on the stage and say there's not a single man on the planet at my weight class, anyone on the planet that can walk in here and beat me.
Have you ever heard of a cricket player called Michael Holding?
Yeah.
He said, and this is very similar to what you said. It's like, when I got the ball in my hand, I'm just a bowler. So even if my mum's at the other end, I'll bowl any ball. Yeah. I don't care. It doesn't matter. So
obviously it's not a contact sport. My brother's not into boxing like I am. But when I played my brother at football, my brother won't play against me at football. He knows I'll run through him. I played football on a Monday night on my sevens game with 2 twins, Craig and Carl. They both used to box. They're both bad boys in school. Big white guys, nightmares to play against. They're kind of like Callum Smith a little bit. But they smash each other in football and they're twins. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's
that competitive nature.
That's what it is. That's the competitive nature. That's the nature of going to that level.
I've sparred hundreds of rounds with my brother.
Yeah.
Hundreds of rounds.
I sparred my friends. My brother wouldn't spar me. My brother's a lot younger than me, to be fair. So but my brother wouldn't spar me.
But bringing it back, so Errol Spence probably looking at Fundora as his easiest option.
He's got somebody that's his friend, or he's got 2 people that could potentially beat him. Fundora could be, unless he's had a miraculous recovery. This is the same Errol Spence that's saying, by the way, I'm still affected by my crash. One of the reasons that he puts down to Crawford beating him so bad is that he still hasn't
take the rematch.
And he didn't take the rematch. Is that he's still being affected by his crash, which I don't really buy. I don't buy it. It's possibly true, but it's irrelevant. And so you're now going to fight somebody that's got all the physical advantages over you. That's poor. You've got 2 men that are world champions that you know can do you some serious damage. Well, Fundora's not world champion, but you got
Fundora is. He just won.
He just won it. Sorry, so you got 2. He's got him.
That's why he's trying to go for Fundora.
He's got Fundora. He's got Spence. He's got Crawford. He can't beat these guys. Or he's got his brethren. I don't rate that. I don't rate that at all. I'm not gonna lie. From Spence, I think it's poor.
I'm surprised that he's leaving Derek James.
Because Derek James knows. Derek James is going to say to him, I know my fighter. I'm not saying you can't beat him, but this isn't the time. This isn't the right time to fight him. This isn't the right way to go about it. Do you know what I'm saying? When did AJ leave?
AJ left Derek James. Bro, Derek James just losing fights. He's got Ryan still, though.
Does he want him?
But based on them videos, it's mad. But
the thing is, Ryan's so temperamental that Ryan would have the camp be all his own way, get punched up by Devin, and then blame Derek James and leave him too.
He's the type of guy that will have the camp his whole way, and in the fight, listen to everything Derek James says.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, and then
or he listens to Derek James the entire camp, and then go out in the fight and do whatever he wants.
He's likely to leave Derek James if he loses to Haney as well.
Facts.
That's very much in his mentality.
Derek James going right now, bro?
And you rate him as a trainer highly.
I think he's a good coach. But I do think this is the thing. I have bare brethren in America, and when they were all jumping on the Derek James bandwagon when he was coach of the year. I was like, bro, he's a top coach, but he's very one-dimensional. Like, he's very one-dimensional. Like, a lot of his fighters are relying on pressure, are relying on aggression, and are relying on just basically being bigger than their opponent. I don't believe that that's a transferable style. I thought it would work with AJ. Obviously, he didn't have AJ long enough, but Charlo's always been a big 154.
Yeah.
Spencer's always been a big 147. When they fought guys bigger than them, he moved up to fight Canelo. Canelo's bigger than him when he fought.
Or even guys that have some form of physical advantage over him. Because Spencer's maybe a little bit bigger than Crawford, but Crawford's a better wrestler.
Of course. And also, though, we're talking about the fact that Errol Spence fought Porter, who's smaller than him. He fought Mikey Garcia, who's also smaller than him. He fought Kell Brook. He was coming down from whatever weight class, so and I wouldn't say at that time that was the best Kell Brook we've seen. He was a damaged Kell Brook. And there's another guy I'm missing. He fought Ugas. And he struggled with Ugas.
Yeah.
He struggled, he got hurt, not struggled, but he got hurt in the Ugas fight. You know what I'm saying? So I've never thought that style is completely transferable. So I'm not for the Fundora fight. But you wanted to bring up the AJ retiring.
Yeah, I think AJ said he's got 2 years left. He originally said he was going to box till he was 35. That was years ago. He's turning 35 this year. So he said he's going to give himself 2 more years. There's still some big fights out there for him. When you're that commercially successful like AJ...
Who would you want to see him fight in the next 2 years? In an ideal world.
In an ideal world, it depends on whether he wins or loses, but if AJ could fight Tyson Fury, I think that's... AJ fights, 3 times a year? 2/3?
2 to 3.
So in a year, Fury and Wilder, I think the Wilder fight is still there for him. Towards the back end, obviously, but...
Well, you say like a bout with a Dylan White or something.
I think a Dylan White trilogy fight is always there for him. And I think there are other British heavyweights that we haven't seen him fight, like the Joe Joyces.
Joe Joyce is done.
Like the Daniel Dubois. They're not going to be the big money fights like the Ngannou's. But I think there's 3 or 4 fights left for him.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Jarrell Miller is still a shout. Is he done, or is he...
I mean, he wants the Usyk rematch.
Of course he does.
So he in his eyes, it's going to be Fury, maybe Fury twice, in his eyes. Then run it back with a Usyk. And probably try...
It would be interesting to see what AJ looks like against Usyk when he's at peak confidence. AJ's such a big confidence fighter.
But I don't think Usyk wants that fight.
If he were to be... Especially if he... loses to Fury, he definitely won't want that fight.
Yeah, 100. He's just going to run it
even
back.
Even if he wins against Fury, but in a very physically grueling fight. I think that even if Usyk wins against Fury, which I believe that he can, it's going to be a very physically grueling fight. He's going to come out there more damaged than he's ever been in any of his career ever. And then
Facts.
Then to after that look at AJ and be like, bruv, it's a long day.
I'm going to ask you a question, yeah? And I'm going to put this to the audience as well. If Usyk beat, and please allow me to finish before, because it might sound a bit outlandish.
Tell me when. Go on,
if Usyk beats Fury in comfortable fashion, and Beterbiev runs over Bivol, like wipes him out in 4 or 5 rounds, would you want to see Usyk versus Beterbiev at heavyweight?
Nah.
I would. I'm sorry, I would. Bro, they fought twice in the amateurs. Usyk 1-1, Beterbiev 1-1. And even though...
I'd rather see them fight at cruiserweight.
No, but it's going to be too hard for him to... The reason why I'm saying that, yeah, the only reason...
Beterbiev going up to heavyweight is the thing that makes me... A 37, would be at the time, 38-year-old Beterbiev going up to heavyweight is the thing that makes me think, But we've counted him out before. But
for one fight, and for me, in my mind... The size advantage that Usyk has won't matter because he doesn't use his size in fights. He uses skill. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think, in my opinion, if we're talking about the combination of attributes to beat Usyk, I think the only fighter that has that is Beterbiev. Yeah. The combination of attributes, so overall aggression, punch power, and pressure and timing. he goes to the body ferociously and he can punch while moving.
Yeah.
But Beterbiev can punch while moving. None of these guys are cool. That was AJ's problem. He's not coordinated enough to make his feet move with his hands.
Listen, Shane Hearn, you're selling it to me. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would. Ideally,
I'm putting it out there, bro.
Ideally, I'd like to see that fight at a lighter weight class for me to give both guys. To see the best possible version of both guys. Yeah, to see, because it's not going to be for, Beterbiev's not going to be stepping up trying to be heavyweight champion at 40. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he might do, but like,
I get what you mean,
that's not got legacy in it for him. It's not got legs in it for him.
Could be a one-off fight, though.
Well, for a one-off fight, I'm always happy to see. Listen, there's 4 or 5 fighters in the world. I'm always happy to watch them fight.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it's probably more than 5, but
I know what you mean.
These two are 2 of them. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm always happy to see that. Will you give me Beterbiev versus Usyk? I don't care where it don't have to be in Saudi. It don't have to be Vegas. It could be anywhere. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I'm always happy to see that fight, and I understand what you're saying, and I just think that the coming into heavyweight. Even from the first fight he had at heavyweight with Chisora, we can see the damage that Usyk has taken. He isn't just a little bit of miles on the clock, a little bit of physically grueling. We can see the damage and not damage is the wrong word. We can see the physical toll that it's had on this guy. Because you didn't used to be able to put a dent in him. You didn't used to be able to put a scratch in him. And now we're seeing him go down from low blows.
Yeah,
we're seeing him go down from, we're seeing him get ragdolled. We're seeing him very, very uncomfortable because these guys are so big and so strong. He's more skilled than all of them, but they're so big and so strong. We're seeing him look uncomfortable. I'd really like to see him and Beterbiev at a comfortable weight where we see the best possible version.
I get you. But the reason why I asked that is because, in my opinion, if Usyk beats Fury in comfortable fashion and Beterbiev beats Bivol in comfortable fashion, I can comfortably say there's no other fight I want to see them in. What fight would you? Who would you want to see them fight? I don't want to see AJ versus Usyk again.
Yeah,
and I don't want Bivol and Beterbiev's cleaned up 175. AJ will want that fight,
obviously, but yeah, that fight's less compelling to us as fans, depending on how AJ moves. Because, like I say, a really confident AJ, and I'm talking about an AJ that goes out and. This hypothetical, calm down, Tyson Fury fanboys, but an AJ that could stop Tyson Fury in the 10th round, for example. Walk through Dylan White, confidence fight. Who else is out there that could potentially be a challenge?
Joseph Parker coming off 2 wins.
Smashes Joseph Parker.
Did you see Joseph?
Oh, amazing. We'll come to that. But if AJ were to fight Tyson Fury, beat him in the 10th round, stoppage. First time Fury had ever been knocked out and lose by knockout, because even if Usyk beats him, it'd probably be on points. Then a cash grab against Dillian White, smacks him up. Dillian White's not the same Dillian White he used to be. Then fights a confident Joseph Parker coming off 2, maybe even 3 wins at the time, stops him in the 5th. AJ's just excelled beyond that. And then AJ's just super confident. I'd like to see that version of AJ fight against Usyk.
Facts.
That would be compelling to me. Do you know what I mean? Because that version of AJ on his best possible day could be that level.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? I was going to ask you, before we talk about Joseph Parker, obviously, we started the segment by saying that AJ is looking at retiring. He's got maybe 4 or 5 fights left, so let's keep an eye on how that develops. It looks like we said before, that era of heavyweight boxers coming to an end. I
told everybody about Ben Whittaker as well, by the way. Man had a tough fight, but go on.
Bro, you see Expressions is with him?
Yeah.
Oh, these man, bro. Whatever, man. Well, there was something else I was about to say about AJ.
God knows. But yeah,
can't remember.
Joseph Parker. Do you see the thing?
Whatever I said, whatever I did, I didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. I want you back. Bro, that video was killing me. Bro, that video was killing me.
I don't care what anyone says. Joseph Parker, you get mad credit for that. I don't care, bro. You get so much credit for that.
That was so much fun.
Bro, I watched that and I thought, oh my God.
We need characters back in box. That's one thing about Ben Whittaker. You can't.
In fact, there's Joseph Parker as well. This guy is such like Joseph Parker, bro. Like, it's so funny.
He's so chill.
So chill, bro.
He's probably the most chill of the heavyweights. He's probably the only heavyweight I think goes home after a fight and buns a zoot.
But you, bro, man wasn't the case though.
Who else do you see bunning the zoot after a fight? Apart from Fury jumps straight to the hard stuff. He does.
Definitely.
Do you know what I'm saying? AJ just won't touch nothing because he's too professional.
Too PC.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Certain man are on certain narcotics that they have to inject.
Dillian White is sharing eggs with Conor Ben. Do you know what I'm saying?
But speaking of Dillian White, yeah, I want to see a remix. I want to see him do a clash back.
Nah,
come with
never,
a Vibes
never.
Cartel thing or something.
Never. Never in your life. Do you see the video of him with John Fury?
Yeah, when he called him Steve Bunce.
Yeah, Dillion's. We still obviously we're both Jamaican. We still got mad love for Dillian.
Yeah,
Man.
100%,
Dillion's the guy, but
it's funny as hell.
yeah, man. But yeah, this crop of heavyweights is coming to an end.
But it's good to see the entertainment still there.
The entertainment is still there. The big fights are still there, and that just goes to show you with 1 or 2 wins that Joseph Parker was out of these types of conversations. He could well be back in.
Facts, he beat
We know that he
Wilder,
won't fight Fury, but if he could beat White, if he could beat Dillian White. AJ rematch is there for him.
Definitely.
He hasn't fought Usyk.
No.
A potential if Usyk loses to Fury, there's a potential there.
He's won what? His last 2 fights, Zhang and Wilder.
Yeah.
So he's won his last 4 fights, but Zhang and Wilder's like 2 big names. Yeah, that's the show, bro.
That's it. What episode is this?
15, I think.
You sure?
15 or 16.
I'm sure it's a 16.
16 then.
Ah, cool. Episode 16. We are actually going to be doing a lot of different content. We're going to be doing some vlogs with some boxers. One of the Noakes brothers I'm talking to, I don't know if you saw that, he has a European title fight coming up.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's got a European title fight coming up against Mendy. It's going to be at York Hall.
Mendy, raw.
Yeah, it's going to be at York Hall. We're going to get tickets. So I hope you come down.
What's the dates?
I'm not sure. I'm going to show you. It's on my phone, so I'll check it when we leave.
The dates, I'll go.
Yeah, so we're
if
going to...
it's York Hall, Queensbury, I'm there.
We'll be there.
I'm going to be there.
We'll be there. So, yeah, they want to do some content with us. We've got much more boxing content coming and different things, like interviews with boxers and vlogs and all different types of stuff coming.
Fun content.
Bare fun
things
content.
That you can get
not as fun as
well.
Joseph Parker.
Of course.
Do you know what I'm saying? We ain't doing karaoke and that, but do you know what I'm saying? There'll be different types of fun content, so you got to make sure, as James Toon would say, yeah, smash the like button if he was here. Do you know what I mean? But no, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We've got much more content coming for you. OnlyFacts Boxing. We're out.